I just thought we'd talk about how recognizing the truth of our being is only ever going to be recognized in direct experience. And what we tend to do is we try and work it out with the head. We try to narrow our focus into thinking. And this is appearing in what we are. So it's narrowing our view. It's going into mental activity, which is appearing in what we are. So we're not going to recognize what we are because what's looking is what we are. What's narrowing its view and going into mental activity, and all of that is just an experience. What you are is the field of experience. What you are is the awareness in which the experience happens. The searching. Because what's searching is you. You are what you're looking for. So that's why we have to turn towards the looker. The one that's observing. The one that just knows what's appearing. The knowing. The knowing. So we're filtering awareness through mental activity. Mental activity is things that have been learnt. So it's going to contrast and compare what it's learnt with what it's seeing, with what's being viewed, what's being compared with. But that is already in the game of duality. You're the one that's looking. You're the one that's using the mind, using mental activity, aware of mental activity, aware of thinking. And that's why we feel lost. That's why we're seeking. It's a grasping. It's in the world of becoming. Something I need to get. I'm not there yet. They're just thoughts born in what you already are, and that's what you're looking for. So I'm just going to ramble and see if anything clicks for anybody. That what you are is already what you're looking for. So what are you now? What's here? What can you actually say without going to mental activity? So what's in your direct experience? Actual. Not mental. Not a thought. You know, me is just a word. You can't be a me. It's a concept. It's a word. Just like you can't drink the word water. It's pointing to something. So what's the word me pointing to without going to more words about a me? Or I. I am. Where's that pointing to? Just the fact that you exist, that you are. That there's something here, aware of everything that's appearing. Thoughts, feelings, emotions, sounds, sensations. You are that that's aware, effortlessly, knowing, effortlessly, seeing, rested in being, just being here now. These are all pointers of the truth, but it's to look beyond the pointers, to feel into where are they pointing to in your direct experience. If we go up to mental activity to try and work it out, we're already in that contrasting, comparing world of duality. And we're looking for what's primary, prior to all of that activity, prior to the comings and goings, what's always there, what's always aware of what's happening, of a busy mind, of a contracted self of me. There's something aware of that. It's a lot broader. It's not confined to a body-mind. It's what's aware of the body-mind. It's not tangible like a form. It's not a thing. It's not something you get, it's what you are. So it's not something we can hold up and say, we've got it, I found it. That's what the mind wants to do. It wants to find something and claim it and say, yeah, I found my true nature. Well, there's an I in the way. And that I is the mind, believing it's a me, but looking for something. So if we can look what's prior to the I, just this expansive I, this one I am, this universal I, pure being. It isn't a thing, it's what you are. It's not something you get, it's what you are. So it's a step backwards into what's already here. It's so obvious we miss it because it's what we are. So how are you not yourself in this moment? Because if you're looking for your true nature, how are you not your true nature? There may be a thought offered up, but I don't feel like I am. You see, there's an I that doesn't feel like it is because it's based in the world of duality. It's believing itself to be separate, but there's something aware of that. Something aware of the thought. And we just believe the thoughts are coming from a real I, but the I is an experience your true nature has. Just this awareness is aware of an I, is aware of thoughts of an I. You're prior to that, prior to the thoughts. We just identify, we get invested in what this I is saying. And our attention goes towards it, and then there's a sense of being entangled, trapped in a mind. Oh, my mind's so busy. There's something reporting a mind so busy. First thing in the morning when you wake up, there's this dawning of light. This field of potential, of pure experience opens up. That's what you are. And then there'll be a thought. And the I is born out of that thought. What am I doing today? If we pay attention to the thought, then there's now an I that's reporting on everything that's happening. But if we just allow that thought to appear, what am I doing today? And we drop it and we remain the witness, the open space in which the thought appears, we don't pick it up. There is still movement, there is still action, but there's no I reporting it all. There's an awareness of it all. Life is moving, life is reporting. We're just very invested and interested in this I. Because it's got a lot to say for itself. It feels very solid, but it's based in fear because it can die, because it's mortal. Whereas what you are is timeless. It's what you've always been. It's what's never changed throughout your whole life. And so the I is based in fear. There's a running commentary of intelligence based in fear, survival. But what you are is pure intelligence. Not a separate self-intelligence. Universal. Just awake, alert presence that you are. So you're awake, you're alert, and you're aware. That's it. We start adding on yes, but that's just the mental overlay of a me that's saying yes, but, and then you're buying into that idea of a me. So it's to see through this identity to the truth of your being. So I say see through, but that's sort of not quite right. We've got to turn this way because the mind's going to go, oh yeah, I've got to see through it. Well, no, we've already picked up an eye. So it's to drop the eye to see what's here when we don't pick up a thought. We don't go to past and future, what's here. We don't go to thinking about this moment, what's here, what reveals itself. What's revealing itself to itself when we don't think. When we just stop. When we just be here now. Without thought. That is your true nature. It's as if the lights come on and it just dawns. But it's so normal because it's what you are. And the mind has got an idea it's going to become something. It's going to gain something. And this is not something you gain because you're already it. How can you not be what you are? So you can see it's a step backwards into what you already are. It's not a forward momentum. There's no grasping. So I always say rest back. Open up to recognise. And all of these are movements in what you are. Really, you're the awareness of everything. Sound of my voice, these movements, this opening up, this resting back, this dropping down. It's all appearing in what you are. But we use the physical body as a little bit of a tool to point ourselves home to what we are. So it seems that I'm just here to simplify it, to try and make it as plain as possible, to try and point you back home to the home you never left. So where are you not home? Where are you not the self right now? Don't go to mental activity. Feel into what you are. How can you not be what you are? Don't go to mental activity to answer that because that's straight back out. Straight back into a dualistic tool to contrast, to compare, looking in the wrong direction. So it's to rest in what's already here, not pick up mental activity, not trying to work anything out, and just Be. That's why it's called effortless being. It actually takes no effort just to be here now. You're not creating a mind. You're not creating thoughts. You're not trying to work anything out. Just resting as what you are, being here now. Any sense of that? That how can you not be what you are? As soon as you go yes but with a mind, then you have an experience of an I that wants to work it out, that needs to find out, to be okay not knowing. Because you are the knowing of your experience. There's no separate knower. There's an experience of a separate knower that's gathering all this material, pointing itself home, but you're already home. You're already home, I promise. You're already home. It's just believing you're not. Already home. Believing you're not. So beliefs, mental activity, ideas and thoughts that's been gathered, of a separate self-experience that's been identified with. But you never were the separate self. The separate self is a creation appearing in what you are. So it's to turn towards what's looking. Turn towards what's aware of the body-mind. Body-mind isn't aware of you. You're aware of it. We just get so fixed in the idea that we're this body-mind. But if you feel into the spaciousness that's here, because what we are isn't a thing, it's a no thing. It isn't nothing. It's alert, awake intelligence. It's alive. Alive, alert, presence. Everybody knows what presence is. You know, as soon as we drop mental activity, we're present. That's what you are. But there's a sense of we're looking for presence because we've got a busy mind. That's because we're taking ownership of mental activity. We're creating an I that's got mental activity. But that's born out of awareness. You are aware of a busy mind. Aware of the story of an I am with your story. Or there's just I am, which is effortless being. Just being here now. Can you just sense that you just are? That you're just being here now? Prior to going yes but, what's there? What's already here? What's the most simple, closest thing to you? Is what you are, because it's not apart from you. It's what you are. It's what you are right now. And now. And now. You don't leave. There's movements of consciousness. There is activity appearing in what you are. You're aware of the activity, aware of the coming and going. That seems to veil what you are, but it never does, because what you are is experiencing it all. It's just that we're looking in the wrong direction. We're looking through the veil, looking through the mental activity, wondering where we are, thinking that we need to work out where we are and how to get home, and why does this feel awful? Why does this feel separate and vulnerable? Because it's based in fear. It's based in that you can die. The physical body can die. But when you recognise you're not the physical body, you're free. You never were bound. You are freedom itself. That feeling of contraction is appearing in what you are. You're the awareness that's aware of it. Sorry. I know what it feels like. I was looking outside of myself, and that's just an experience. There was nobody looking outside of themselves. Can you see? It's a story. Already home, just pretending I'm not knowing, not realising, believing the thoughts. They're beliefs that we're not home. We're belief that we're caught up in thoughts. All of that is appearing in what we are. It's just like weather. It's just like clouds appearing in the sky. The sky is untouched by the clouds, by the thoughts, by the push and pull, by the contraction. It's just if we identify as the clouds as the storm, then we have that experience, because we're pure potential to create. But we can recognise follow our attention back to its root. What's aware of the clouds? Don't look at the clouds, look at what's aware. Turn towards what's aware. That vast open space, the sky. The sky it doesn't need to surrender because it's already open. It doesn't need to let go of anything because it never held on to anything. It's to recognise that you never were the separate self. All of that is appearing in you. So if there's pain, if there's contraction, just don't identify with it. It doesn't mean we ignore it. We just see it for what it is. It's not our pain, it's pain. Fear, it's just fear. Not our fear. Anxiety, it's not our anxiety. It's appearing in what we are, the spaciousness that we are. Identify with the body, then it's in my body and I don't want it and need it to go. But if you recognise you're the awareness of it that's formless, untouched by the pain, pain is a sensation appearing in what you are. It's an experience. True nature has, but true nature is untouched by experience. It's the one that's aware of it, and the awareness is unbound and totally free. It's not contracted or separate or needing the moment to be any other way because it's not affected by the moment. I completely understand identification because it's possible for anybody. It's possible to get lost in thoughts. We're just great at creating experience for ourselves. The one self is creating all of this experience. This is just a field of experience, pure potential. We're just being offered up all of these experiences via thoughts. Like little whack-a-moles popping up. Lots of different invitations to experience, but they're not appearing to anybody. We think that thoughts are appearing to me and I've got to get rid of them and I don't want to choose them and here they are again and why am I stuck in them? It's because there's a belief in an I, a separate self I that needs the moment to be different. That's just born out of the rub, the friction, the resistance to the thoughts. The thoughts die away. It's not they don't stop, we don't mind. Thoughts are just invitations, we don't need to pick them up because there's nobody picking them up. It's just attention going towards thoughts that creates the experience. I hope this makes sense. It might do for somebody. Thanks for watching.